Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I don't have much of an update for you guys because we still have coin trading above the 5-minute moving average. We got really close, but I wanted to highlight something that we talked about in today's live trading session with the LPP team. So like many of you guys know, I trade live every morning, and I just share my thought process on either a trade I'm taking or a trade I'm about to take. Just like I talked about in yesterday's video, I'm preparing to short coin. And let me just explain kind of like the whole idea behind this. So coin has recently become pretty overbought because Bitcoin is rallying, right? And as long as Bitcoin continues to rally, coin is going to remain bullish most likely. But if Bitcoin begins to pull on back, as it tends to, it doesn't have to, but as it tends to, then most likely so will coin. So by shorting coin, I can make money as this thing sells off. So from current price points to previous lows of right around 164, it offers about 17 to 18% ROI. We talk about the concept about focusing on quality trades, quality over quantity, and waiting for true confirmation. I talked about three main things that I like to wait for when choosing to short a stock. The first thing is identify hyped up stock that's become overvalued within a short period of time. Yesterday, coin itself moved 16%. Today, at its peak, I think it moved 7%, almost 8% on the day, but then gave it back. So it's already showing signs of weakness. But again, weakness doesn't mean it's an active sell-off. And that's the big thing. And this is step 3, waiting for confirmation of an active sell-off. So what is something that coin has not done? It hasn't broken below the moving average on the 5-minute time frame and actively sell off. Just like it was actively uptrending, showing signs of higher highs and higher lows, I want it to do the opposite. Actively make lower lows and lower highs. That's what I would need coin to do for me to open up a short position to feel comfortable. And as long as it continues to hold above the moving average, and as long as Bitcoin continues to run up, I have to respect coin enough that direction is not in my favor until it actually has a break-if pattern. And the reason I'm being so strict with that is because, let's be honest, how many times have you entered a position too early because you have an idea, you have a plan of action, but then you execute it just when you want to, not when you actually have true confirmation. So trying to lead by example. I don't mind talking about my plan. I like pointing out kind of like where I plan to enter, where I plan to take profits, all of that. So I lay it all out for you guys. But then it's the third and final step. And this is a mistake that I've made so many times before. We jump the gun. We get in too early, and then guess what happens? This thing could continue to run up. And you always have to give it the benefit of the doubt before jumping into something, not expecting that it can't go against you, because it always can. So just wanted to make sure that you are aware that I'm still waiting for confirmation. I'm excited to take that short, but I am only excited if direction actually ends up being favorable, because as of right now, it's bouncing off the moving average and going back to test the EMA. But on the other hand, we had SMCI. It is showing a lot of signs of consolidation, but for the third day in a row, right at market open, it sells off. Right at market open, it sells off and then recovers. Sells off and then recovers. So this is kind of been eye-opening, because SMCI has been consolidating within this like $800 range after gapping up to 1,000, but also it has a history of pulling back to 700. So it's also something that I'm paying attention to potentially short. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about is ARM. ARM actively pulled back today after gapping up overnight. It pulled on back, but we want to be very careful because this also has a pattern and history of after pulling back, it consolidates, it finds its support, and then it continues to rally. ARM is also a very hyped up stock, so you need to make sure that you know when to take profits. Other than that, I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update on where I see the market to be, and you let me know what you think. But when taking a further step back, it's very easy to see this overall uptrend pattern. NASDAQ and S&P 500 are still incredibly bullish, but when it becomes overbought, they tend to pull on back to the moving average. When it becomes overbought, it tends to pull on back to the moving average. When it becomes overbought, again, it tends to pull back to the moving average. It's again within this general range. I wouldn't be surprised that if we lack progress beyond 440, that the NASDAQ market can begin to pull on back and everything that follows with it. So what exactly does this mean? Well, if NASDAQ market begins to pull on back to the moving average, it's not the end of the world. It's just like anything. It's a healthy uptrend. And just like it rallies, it also pulls on back. But when it pulls on back, it brings down the rest of the market down with it. So it's just something to take into consideration that the market can begin to pull on back. And that means most of tech will most likely follow with it. So just be aware of that. Keep an eye and make sure that you're paying attention to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, even when you're not trading it, because of how they influence all the other tech companies around it, because they're a large basket of companies. Okay. So other than that, I hope to see you for our live trading session tomorrow. And if you want to tune on in, it's again the second link in the description down below. If you sign up by today, you can watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow. And yes, that is our biggest discount. And yes, it is a one-time payment, lifetime access. So if you want to check it out, second link in the description down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note and stay patient, team.